The marriage proposal happened exactly the way Nadia had heard it would. It was quite extravagant. At a lavish charity gala in New York City, crystal chandeliers shimmered above hundreds of wealthy guests dressed in black tie attire. Nadia wore a silver gown covered in tiny diamonds that caught the light every time she moved. When she stepped onto the ballroom stage beside Charles Whitmore, she already knew what was coming. Still, her heart pounded. A spotlight suddenly followed Charles as he took the microphone from the event host. The room quieted instantly. Nadia changed my life, he announced warmly. She reminded me that beauty means nothing without courage. She's one of the best human beings I know. Warm, loving, beautiful, and such a great cook. Partaking in delicious Sudanese dishes has become like a ritual. Guests applauded softly while Nadia forced herself to look surprised. Then Charles lowered himself onto one knee as she blushed. A velvet box opened in his hand, revealing a diamond ring so massive that flashes from nearby cameras bounced off it like sparks. Nadia Eleman, he said, smiling up at her. I have grown to love you so much. Will you marry me? The room erupted into cheers before she even answered. But Nadia had already made her decision weeks ago. Yes, she whispered emotionally. Charles slid the ring onto her finger as photographers rushed closer. The internet exploded within hours. Fashion blogs, celebrity pages, and gossip magazines all covered the engagement between the wealthy American mogul and the Sudanese model, whose story fascinated people across social media and the world. Despite the joy of it all, not everyone celebrated. Before the wedding, Charles insisted on a strict prenuptial agreement to protect his vast fortune and business empire. Nadia sat silently in a lawyer's office, reading page after page, detailing assets she could never fully touch if the marriage failed. Private properties, investments, trusts, companies. It humbled her in an uncomfortable way. For a moment, she wondered if she was simply entering another world where power would never truly belong to her. Still, she signed. And in truth, Nadia loved him. Charles treated her with tenderness and admiration. He listened when she spoke, supported her modeling career, and constantly reassured her that she belonged beside him despite their different worlds. Convincing her parents to attend the wedding proved far harder than she thought. Her mother resisted for months. You are marrying a man old enough to almost be your father. His children are quite close to your age group, she argued during one emotional phone call, and from a completely different life than ours. But Charles remained patient. He visited Sudan personally before the ceremony, meeting her extended family and community with respect. He donated generously to local projects without boasting about it. Slowly, Nadia's parents began to soften toward him. By the time the wedding arrived, they finally stood beside their daughter. The ceremony overlooked the Manhattan skyline from a luxurious rooftop venue, decorated with white roses and gold lights. Nadia's mother cried quietly while watching her daughter walk down the aisle with her father, who would hand her off to Charles. Not because she fully understood the life Nadia had chosen, but because she realized her daughter had truly built a future of her own. Charles's three children stood nearby: 14-year-old Olivia, 11-year-old Mason, and little Ethan, only 6 years old, who instantly adored Nadia from the moment they met. The wedding was elaborate and awesome. Her friends admired and congratulated her. She made Serena, her maid of honor, because she had become her bestie and was the one who encouraged her to audition for modeling and changed the trajectory of her life. Becoming a stepmother frightened her at first. She worried they would resent the younger, glamorous woman their father married. Instead, the children embraced her warmly. Olivia borrowed her makeup and clothes, and they made TikToks together. Mason joked with her a lot. Ethan followed her everywhere like a shadow. Their affection surprised her more than the wealth ever did. Olivia and Mason's mother was a kind older lady in Charles's age group and had accepted her as her children's stepmother. On the other hand, Ethan's mother was mean-spirited and resented her, maybe because Charles didn't marry her. But that didn't stop Ethan's love for Nadia. Though married into luxury, Nadia refused to completely abandon modeling. She continued accepting campaigns and runway appearances because earning her own income made her feel independent. But the greatest change came in how she used her money. Back in Sudan, her mother began managing a growing charity funded almost entirely by Nadia and Charles. The organization provided daily meals, clean drinking water, clothing, and medical support for children in Nadia's village and nearby communities. For the first time in years, children no longer had to study hungry. Then came the school. A modern school building rose where an old, crumbling structure once stood. Nadia's sisters helped manage its remodeling operations. Computers, books, and clean classroom supplies transformed educational opportunities for hundreds of children. The village praised her generosity. Yet, criticism never fully disappeared. Some people still whispered that Nadia had abandoned her religion and traditions for fame and Western luxury. Older women sometimes shook their heads while discussing her modeling photographs online. She changed too much, they said. Nadia eventually stopped trying to defend herself because when she looked at the reality of many girls she had grown up with, she could not deny how dramatically her life had changed for the better. Some were trapped in unhappy marriages, some struggled with poverty, some never finished school. Meanwhile, Nadia often traveled between Paris, New York, and Dubai in her successful modeling career. She lived in penthouses and vacation homes. She quietly purchased houses for two of her childhood friends and helped others start businesses. A few relatives received vehicles and financial support that completely transformed their lives. Her success had become too large to ignore. Even her parents slowly changed. Charles treated them with immense respect whenever they visited America. He never mocked their traditions or beliefs. Over time, Nadia's father began speaking proudly about her accomplishments again, especially the humanitarian work she funded in Sudan. Then, after 3 years of marriage, everything shifted once more. Nadia became pregnant. Charles was overjoyed. The pregnancy softened her mother completely. During video calls, she smiled again, the way she once had when Nadia was a child. When their son was born, Charles cried openly while holding him in the hospital. The baby inherited bright, curious eyes and a soft caramel skin that reflected both parents beautifully. As Charles' legal son, the child instantly became one of the heirs to an enormous fortune, a trust fund baby born into privilege Nadia herself could never have imagined as a little girl in a conservative Sudanese village. Sometimes late at night, after feeding her son, Nadia would stand beside the massive windows of her Manhattan penthouse looking down at the glowing city below. She would think about the girl she once was, the shy Muslim student terrified to remove her hijab at modeling audition, the engineering dreamer who arrived in America with fear and hope tangled together inside her chest. If someone had shown that younger Nadia a vision of her future, a millionaire husband, fashion campaigns, stepchildren who loved her, luxury beyond imagination, and a son born into wealth, she would have laughed in disbelief. Yet, somehow,